It's the FAQ.
Do houseplants really purify the air? Asked Giselle from Launceston. That's a nice question, isn't it? Because we all love our plant babies. Unlike human babies, they don't shit themselves, they always look good in photos, and you won't go to jail if you neglect them. Yeah, that's dead. Plus, we've all heard about
Air purifying plants.
from every listicle ever. But where did that idea come from?
A clean air study by NASA.
Yes, in 1989, NASA set their sights a little lower than missions to Mars or the Moon and focused instead on studying pot plants. Looking for a way to clean the air on space stations, NASA found that plants can play a major role in removal of organic chemicals from indoor air. And in particular, they were referring to pollutants like benzene, trichloroethylene and formaldehyde. Now, these are all types of VOCs, or volatile organic compounds, and they can cause everything from irritation to nausea and even cancer. And ever since then, it's been widely reported that a humble house plant sitting on your desk or coffee table has air cleaning superpowers. But maybe there's a reason Marvel never bothered to make a superhero movie about Plant Man. In 2019, a review of NASA's study made quite a splash. It noted that NASA's study was conducted in a small sealed chamber in a lab. But unless you're an astronaut, you don't work in a small sealed chamber. The review found in a real office, it would take a huge number of plants to do a better job of cleaning the air than standard ventilation or just opening a couple of windows. In a space like this room, they said it would take about 100 of the right plants. And if you use the wrong plants, it could take thousands. Why did you lie to me?
Alex, they're not lying to you.
Phew. Wait, which one of you said that?
I'm Fraser. I reviewed that study and the calculations are accurate, but it doesn't tell you the full story.
So what's the truth then?
Well, Alex, the way potted plants remove VOCs, well, the plant doesn't actually play the major role. It's the bacteria in the potting mix. They use the VOCs that can give us cancer as food sources.
Stolen valor. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
The 2019 paper didn't say plants didn't work. They just said that their effects are smaller than building ventilation like air conditioning or opening a window. I mean, the plants do work. You should try it yourself.
Challenge accepted, Fraser. Time for me to do a science. How did you get in here? This office we're in is a typical 10 square metre office. And this is a typical air quality monitor. We asked a bunch of teenage boys to stink up the room for us. And while there are VOCs in BO, they're also in all of this stuff. And there's heaps in air freshener. All right, so we've turned the air conditioning off and we're going to let the room settle. Then we're going to measure the difference in VOCs in a room without plants compared to a room with plants. In a room with no plants, the VOCs were reduced by about 14% per hour. But in a room with 5 plants, VOCs were reduced by about 38% per hour, almost 3 times the rate. So we went off and we tested it and we found that even in a room with only 5 plants, there was a big reduction in VOCs.
That's what we've been trying to tell people for 20 years, Alex. You don't need a jungle to make a difference. In fact, plants don't just remove volatile organics. They've got heaps of different benefits. Every pollutant we've ever measured, they can remove. They can make you a happier person. They can improve your psychological health.
I don't know if these plants are improving my psychological health. But do you admit that air conditioning does do a better job of removing VOCs than these plants?
Of course it does a better job. The way air conditioning works is that it removes all of the air in the room 1 to 2.5 times an hour. Most people don't know that 40% of all the energy we use in the built environment goes to cleaning our air and keeping the temperature stable. We can't keep doing this. Reducing energy demand is going to be so important for reaching net zero going forward.
Okay, but surely air conditioning is more practical than having all of these plants.
Yes, it is a little awkward, isn't it? But what if we stuck all these plants on a wall?
Oh. Wow, you really Put a whole bunch of plants on a wall.
Absolutely. 60 square metre green wall.
So why is this setup so much better than just your average pot plant?
One of the big challenges with pot plants in a big room is that it takes a long time for the pollutants to actually move through the air and get to the potting mix where the action gets done. So here what we've done is we've got 6 fans down the bottom of the wall. What they do is pull in pollutants from ground level, where pollutants accumulate, up through the back of the system, out through the potting mix, through the plants and back to the room. By doing that, we improve the rate of pollution removal by 10, 20-fold. It's really effective.
And what about the people at home who don't have one of these huge walls?
In a small space, pot plants work amazingly well. So as long as you buy nice, healthy plants, keep them well watered and most importantly, give them enough light, they'll do a fantastic job in a smaller space.
So there you have it, Giselle. It looks like plants do have those air purifying abilities after all, but in order to maximise those abilities, we should be smart about how we use them and maybe help them help us. Truce? Truce. All right.